ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपः कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरु श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरुं वैष्णवांश श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगणरघुनाथान्वितं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सहगणललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च। हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमस्तुते। तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्ण पृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामिनिति नामिने। नमस्ते सारस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे। हरे कृष्ण।
Hare Krishna. There are some very prominent prayers by Srila Sanatana Goswami on the glories of Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. As an offering today to the lotus feet of Srila Sanatana Goswami, we begin by reciting and to some extent trying to understand his affection, attachment and appreciation for Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. This is very famous prayers. Srila Sanatana Goswami says in regard to Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, Sarva Shastra Dipyusha Sarva Vedek Shatphala Sarva Siddhanta Ratnadhya Sarva Lokek Dikpada Sarva Bhagavata Prana Śrīmad-Bhāgavata Prabhu Vali Panto Udida Vidya Śrī Kṛṣṇa Parivartita. The Sarva Shastra Piyushaha, that Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam is the nectar which is churned from the ocean of all Vedic scriptures. And it is Sarvedeka Shatphala. You are the most prominent and transcendental fruit of the Vedas. Sarva Siddhanta Ratnadhya, enriched with the jewels of all philosophical conclusions. You grant spiritual vision to all people of the world. It says, Kali Bhanto Aditya. So you grant spiritual vision to all the people of the world and are the very life breath of Vaishnava devotees. Śrī Kṛṣṇa Priyavartita means those who are the followers and worshippers of Lord Śrī Kṛṣṇa, the devotees. O Lord, you are the sun which has risen to dispel the darkness of Kali Yuga. Actually, you are Lord Krishna who has returned amongst us. So it is a realization that Lord Śrī Kṛṣṇa has again reappeared in the form of Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. Paramananda Pathaya Prema Varshi आकर्ष्यते सर्वदा सर्वसेवाय श्री कृष्णाय नमस्तुमे. O Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, I offer my respectful obeisances unto you. By your recitation, one attains transcendental bliss. Paramananda Pathaya. By your recitation, one attains transcendental bliss. Because your syllable shower down pure love of God. Prema varsha aksharayate. There is varsha of prem in every letter, in every syllable of Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. And whoever is studying Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, he experiences the transcendental bliss, Paramananda. Sarvada Sarva Sevaya. You are to be served by everyone always. For you are the incarnation of Lord Krishna. Śrī Kṛṣṇaya namastume. Madek bandhu mad sangi mad guru man mahadhana man nistarka mad bhagya madananda namastute. O Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, O my only friend, my companion, and my teacher, Madek bandhu. Bandhu is friend. Mat sangi, sangi is companion. Also Mad guru, my teacher. And man mahadhana, O my great will. Man nistaraka, the deliverer of my mind, and mad bhagya, one who bestows all good fortune and offers mad ananda, spiritual bliss. So I offer my respectful obeisances unto you. Namastute. Asādhu sadhuta dain ati nicho atakara anamuncha kadachinma premahrita kathaispura. O Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, O bestower of saintliness to the unsaintly. Asadhu sadhuta daina. That those who are asadhu, that means those who are demoniac. So what they can become? They can become sadhu. O bestower of saintliness to the unsaintly. And O uplifter of the most fallen. Ati nicho atah karaha. O uplifter of the most fallen. Please never leave me. Nama mucha kadachin ma. Why it is prem nahit katha is pura. Please manifest yourself in my heart and throat. This is the very intense prayer by Srila Sanatana Goswami. And as we were discussing in the morning, how much Sanatana Goswami had attachment for Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam since his birth, and this attachment never became less. It got intensified. Okay, so let us begin our study of Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. Further from where we were in the 7th chapter of the first canto. You can all see the screen. So what we saw is after the war was over and the Kauravas lost the battle, and one of the prominent fighters amongst the Kauravas, he wanted to take revenge and he wanted to kill all the 5 Pandavas. So he plotted, and in the dead of night, he went into their tents to kill them. But instead of killing the Pandavas, he ultimately ended up killing the 5 innocent sons of Pandavas. And when the Pandavas, headed by Arjuna, came to know about this such a criminal act, such heinous and brutal act, he chased Aśvatthāmā And Aśvatthāmā, when he became aware that he is being chased by Arjuna, so he became very, very fearful. And in that fearful state, he could not make any proper decision. So he tried to invoke and release the nuclear weapon of brahmastra. And Arjuna gets bewildered, but under the guidance of Krishna, his memory is revived and he comes to his normal position. And he inquires from Krishna that how to counteract this very deadly weapon which is used by Aśvatthāmā. And Krishna suggests that you release another brahmastra to counteract. And when both the brahmastra are there in the sky, it brings so much of radiation that there is always a big threat that the population can become affected. So on Krishna's advice, Arjuna retracts both the brahmastra. The brahmastra which is released by Aśvatthāmā also and his own brahmastra. And now we see further from the 33rd verse was saying that thus seeing the disturbance of the general populace and the imminent destruction of the planets, Arjuna at once distracted both brahmastra as Lord Śrī Kṛṣṇa desired. So further, tata āsādya tarasā dāruṇaṁ gautamī-sutam babandhāmarṣa-tāmrākṣaḥ paśuṁ raśanayā yathā. Arjuna, his eyes blazing in anger, like two red balls of copper, dexterously arrested the son of Gautami and bound him with ropes like an animal. Aśvatthāma's mother Kṛpī was born in the family of Gautama. A significant point in the śloka is Aśvatthāmā was caught and bound up by the ropes like an animal. According to Śrīdhara Svāmī, Arjuna was obliged to catch the son of a brāhmaṇa like an animal as a part of his duty for dharma. This suggestion by Śrīdhara Svāmī is confirmed in the later statement of Śrī Kṛṣṇa. Aśvatthāmā was a bona fide son of Droṇācārya and Kṛpī, but because he has degraded himself to a lower status of life, it was proper to treat him as an animal and not as a Brahmin. So this verse speaks that Arjuna was very much outraged, and in that burst of rage, Arjuna captured him. First, Arjuna neutralized his nuclear weapon, contracted it with his own weapon, and neutralized both the weapons. And then Arjuna captured him, and how he is being captured, he is compared to an animal. Like an animal is tightly bound by ropes. Shivaraya nishnatam rajva bhadva ripumbala prahararjum prakupito bhagavana ambujakshana. After binding Aśvatthāmā, Arjuna wanted to take him to the military camp. The personality of Godhead Śrī Kṛṣṇa, looking on with his lotus eyes, spake to Arjuna in an angry mood. Both Arjuna and Lord Krishna are described here as being in angry mood. But Arjuna's eyes were like balls of red copper, whereas the eyes of Lord were like lotuses. This means that the angry mood of Arjuna and that of the Lord are not on the same level. The Lord is transcendental. The Lord is transcendent, and thus he is absolute in any state. His anger is not like the anger of the conditioned living being within the modes of qualitative material nature. Because he is absolute, both his anger and the pleasure are the same. His anger is not exhibited in the three modes of material nature. It is only a sign of his bent of mind towards the cause of his devotee, because that is his transcendental nature. Therefore, even if he is hungry, the object of anger is blessed. He is worshipped in all conditions. He is okay. Therefore, even if he is in angry, the object of anger is blessed. He is unchanged in all circumstances. This is talking about the absolute nature of the Supreme Lord. That although he exhibits anger, he is not under the influence of the lower modes. He is always transcendental to the three modes. Mainam part arhasi tratum brahmabandhum imam jahi yovaso angadasa suktam avadhim nishibalakam. Lord Shri Krishna said, "O Arjuna, you should not show mercy by releasing this relative of a Brahman Bandhu, for he has killed innocent boys in their sleep." The word Brahma Bandhu is significant. A person who happens to take birth in the family of a Brahmana, but is not qualified to be called a Brahmana, is treated as a relative of a Brahmana and not as a Brahmana. One does not become a high court judge by the virtue of being the son of a high court judge. But there are no harm in addressing a huge high court judge son as a relative of the Honorable Justice. Therefore, as one becomes a high court judge, not by birth, only by acquiring the necessary qualifications of a high court judge. So also one becomes a Brahmana, not simply by birthright, but by acquiring the necessary qualifications of a Brahmana. As the high court judgeship is a post for the qualified man. So also the post of the Brahmana that enabled by qualification. The Shastra enjoins that if good qualifications are seen in a person, born in a family other than that of Brahmana, the qualified man has to be accepted as a Brahmana. And similarly, if a person born in the family of a Brahmana is void of Brahmanical qualifications, then he must be treated as a non-Brahmana, or in better terms, a relative of the Brahmana. Lord Shiva, the supreme authority of all religious principles of Vedas, has personally pointed out these differences, and he is about to explain the reasons for this in following slokas. Matam pramattam unnamattam saptum balam shriyam jadam prapannam vithartham bahitam nari pumhanti dharma vita. A person who knows the principle of religion does not kill an enemy who is careless, intoxicated, insane, asleep, afraid, and devoid of his chariot. Nor does he kill a boy or a woman, a foolish creature or a surrendered soul. An enemy who does not resist is never killed by a warrior who knows the principles of religion. Formerly, battles were fought on the principles of religion and not for the sake of sense gratification. If the enemy happened to be an intoxicated sleep, etc., as above mentioned, he was never to be killed. These are some of the codes of religion 12th part. Formally, war was never declared by the whims of selfish political leaders. It was carried out on religious principles free from all vices. Violence carried out on religious principle is far superior to so-called non-violence. That is a very important purport. It says violence carried out on religious principle is far superior to so-called non-violence. Hare Krishna, you want to continue? I'm not able to continue. Too much of fatigue is there. Manoram Prabhu and Dayashi Prabhu, you want to continue? Continue. Okay. I will quit and you all continue. At least this chapter has 44 verses. So you at least take up to 38 or 40 verses, whatever is possible. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna.
हरे कृष्ण प्रभु जी, दंडवत प्रणाम। दयाश्री प्रभु जी,
धन्यवाद प्रभु। हाँ, तो हम लोग कंटिन्यू करेंगे, जैसे कि एक दो वर्ष ले सकते हैं हम लोग भी। 37 कंप्लीट कर लेते हो, बड़ा बड़ा परफॉर्ट है। 37 कंप्लीट कर लेंगे।
यस प्रभु जी।
हाँ,
So will you recite Prabhu ji or as you direct?
yeah, yes. Pranab Prabhu, you can recite Prabhu. Is it possible for you?
Yes, Prabhuji, Hare Krishna.
Yes.
Which verse, Prabhu? 37, 7th chapter, 37 verse.
Yes, yes, Prabhu. 37.
Okay, Prabhuji, I am reciting.
You recite the śloka, word to word meaning and translation.
Okay, Prabhuji. Swapranam yapara pranai praposhnati agrana kala tadvadastasya hi shreyo yaddoshadyati adhapuman. What meaning? Swapranan, one's own life. Yeah, one who parapranai, at the cost of others' lives. Prapushnati, maintains properly. Agrana, shameless. Khala, rest. Tadvada, killing of him. Tasya, his. He, certainly. Shreya, well-being. Yat, by which. Doshat, by the fault. Yati, goes. Adha, downwards. Puman, a person. Translation: a cruel and rash person who maintains his existence at the cost of others' lives deserves to be killed for his own well-being. Otherwise, he will go down by his own actions. Okay, thank you, Prabhuji.
One more time, Prabhu. One more time, only translation.
Okay, translation: a cruel and rash person who maintains his existence at the cost of others' lives deserves to be killed for his own well-being. Otherwise, he will go down by his own actions.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Thank you.
Who is there? Pradeep Prabhu. Pradeep Prabhu, you can read the some part. I mean, half purport you can read, Prabhu. Half purport.
Hare Krishna Prabhu ji, Hare Krishna, दंडवत प्रणाम to everyone. Purport by Srīvenge Śrīla Prabhupada ki jai. A life is just punishment for a person who cruelly and shamelessly lives at the cost of another's life. Political morality is to punish a person by a death sentence in order to save a cruel person from going to hell. That a murderer is condemned to a death sentence by the statement is good for the culprit, because in his next life he will not have to suffer for his act of murder. Such a death sentence for the murderer is the lowest possible punishment offered to him. And it is said in the Smriti Shastras that men who are punished by the king on the principle of a life for a life are purified of all their sins, so much so that they may be eligible for being promoted to the planets of heaven. According to Manu, the great author of civic codes and religious principles, even the killer of an animal is to be considered a murderer, because animal food is never meant for the civilized man, whose prime duty is to prepare himself for going back to Godhead. He says that in act of killing an animal, there is a regular conspiracy by the parts of sinners, and all of them are liable to be punished as a murderer, exactly like a party of the conspirators who kill a human being combinedly. He who gives permission, he who kills the animal, he who sells the slaughtered animals, he who cooks the animal, he who administers distribution of the foodstuff, and at last he who eats that cooked animal food are all murderers, and all of them are liable to be punished by the law of nature. No one can create a living being despite all advancement of material science, and therefore no one has the right to kill a living being by one's independent whims. For the animal eater, the scriptures have sanctioned restricted animal sacrifices only, and such sanctions are there just to restrict the opening of the slaughterhouses and not to encourage animal killing. Hare Krishna, shall I continue?
Thank you, Prabhu. Ganesh Prabhu, you can proceed.
Hare Krishna devotees. The procedure under which animal sacrifice is allowed in the scripture is good both for the animal sacrificed and the animal eaters. It is good for the animal in the sense that the sacrificed animal is at once promoted to the human form of life after being sacrificed at the altar, and the animal eaters is saved from the grosser type of sins, eating meat supplied by the organized slaughterhouse, which are ghostly places for breeding all kind of material affiliation to the society, country, and the people in general. The material world is itself a place always full of anxieties, and by encountering animal slaughters, the whole atmosphere become polluted more and more by war, uh, pest, pestilence, famine, and many other unwanted calamities.
Thank you, Ganesh Prabhu, and Pradeep Prabhu, Ganesh Prabhu. Hmm. So, just I wanted to say one point only here. The material world itself is a place of full of anxieties, and by encouraging animal slaughter, like nowadays we are seeing, the whole atmosphere becomes polluted more and more by war. So, why war is happening? It is because Srila Prabhupada is giving a reason. Pestilence, why so many pests are coming, new and newer pests? It is because of this, and famine also. And many other unwanted calamities. So whatever calamities we are seeing, everything is because of this encouraging the animal slaughtering. Yeah, thank you, Prabhu. And any comments and point from any other devotees, you can continue. Thank you.
Yeah, Hare Krishna Babuji. So other devotees will contribute, I think. But before that, one important principle, what we have heard from Prabhuji also, and continued. So Arjuna, although he was very much angry, and then in between we see that it's a characteristic of a Vaishnava. So he was so much merciful. He was not wanting to, although previously he wanted to kill, bring the head to Draupadi and told Draupadi that you can take bath after I bring back his head after killing him. But in between we see that he wanted to bring, he binds actually Aśvatthāmā, and then he wanted to bring it to military house. So seeing that, Krishna told that no, there should not be any mercy of just leaving him, just leaving him in the military house. You better that you should kill. And then we have seen in this particular verse number 37 why it is required if a sinful person is there, even though an animal killer also, he should be killed. So, but both the contrasting thing here we see, and another aspect was like angerness between Lord Krishna and Arjuna. So there was also a difference. So Arjuna was acting like a conditioned soul. So his anger was different, but Lord Krishna's anger was to save his own devotee. So it is rather a love towards his devotee. So he got angry. So I think these 2-3 points we see from here. But most encouraging is Arjuna's behavior like a Vaishnava, that even though he has seen that somebody has done so much sinful acts, but still he was compassionate. Okay, so maybe other devotees can contribute.
Thank you, Prabhu. Thank you. It is very, very nice you told. Although he saw that his sons were killed, but still he did not kill him, but he just bound him. Very good, Prabhu. Thank you. Thank you. So, devotees, I have some service to perform, so you can continue. Just I am taking your permission to leave. Thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Okay, thank you so much, Prabhuji. Yes, we have Ravindra Madhusudan Prabhuji and Mataji, so we can have, and also another one or two devotees, so we can have maybe some aspects 4-5 मिनट हम जो वर्ड्स डिस्कशन किए हैं उसका ऊपर ही कुछ पॉइंट्स है तो हम बात कर सकते हैं. या रविंद्र मधुसूदन प्रभु जी. ओके ओके माता जी प्लीज.
जी प्रभु जी हरे कृष्ण.
यस हरे कृष्ण.
यहाँ पे 3rd लाइन में लिखा है that a murderer is condemned to a death sentence by the state is moved for the culprit because in his next life he will not have to suffer for his act of murder. And such a death sentence for the murderer is the lowest possible punishment offered to him, and it is said in the Smriti Shastra that men who are punished by the king and the principles of life are purified of all their sins, so much so that they may be eligible for being promoted to the planets of heaven. अब इसमें यही बता रहे हैं कि मेरे को जो समझ में आ रहा है कि हमें हमारा गुनाह के लिए इस संसार में कलयुग में कोई भी हायर अथॉरिटी या कोर्ट की तरफ से किसी के भी कोई दंड मिलता है तो हमारा वो जो है हमारे लिए अच्छा है, ताकि हमें जो है आगे जाके जो हम सीन किए हैं उसका दंड वो भोगना नहीं पड़ेगा. क्योंकि मैंने ऐसे सुना था जैसे कि कोई भी पाप करते हैं तो क्या होता है कि उसका जो है हमें एक यातना शरीर करके एक मिलता है शरीर, जो कि यातना शरीर में तरह तरह के उसको जो है दंड दिया जाता है, जैसे कि दूसरे लोक में जो जाते हैं आफ्टर डेथ जैसे कोई पूछेगा कि ये आदमी तो मर जाएगा, यहाँ पे तो बॉडी रहेगा, आत्मा का तो आकार इतना छोटा है, उसको कैसे दंड मिल सकता है? तो उसको एक यातना शरीर मिलता है जिसमें कि उसको तरह तरह दंड मिलता है। लेकिन प्रभुपाद इसमें क्लियर कर रहे हैं कि यहीं भी मान लीजिए कोई कुछ गुनाह करता है और मर्डर भी करता है, उसको रूल्स के हिसाब से कुछ पनिशमेंट मिल जाता है, तो वो जो है एलिजिबल फॉर बीइंग प्रमोटेड टू द प्लैनेट ऑफ हेवन। यही में समझ में आया प्रभु, यही है ना इसका मतलब?
यस यस, थैंक यू सो मच प्रभु जी। ओके, और कुछ एनलाइटमेंट आप दे सकेंगे तो प्लीज यार।
गणेश प्रभु है, प्रणव प्रभु है, पता नहीं अभी, मेरे को थोड़ा जुकाम है तो थोड़ा दिक्कत हो रहा है।
ओके, थैंक यू सो मच प्रभु जी, आपने बहुत ही इम्पोर्टेंट एस्पेक्ट बताया इसमें। और ये जैसे आपने पनिशमेंट बताया, पनिशमेंट तो जैसे ठीक है, वन टर्म्स ऑफ कभी कभार ये हो सकता है कि भाई पनिशमेंट का रिप्लेसमेंट में उसको भी पनिश किया। और दूसरा और एक चीज है, जैसे आपने बहुत अच्छा पॉइंट बताया है कि अगर रेक्टिफिकेशन के लिए हमें बताया जाए तो उसको भी हम पनिशमेंट मान तो सकते हैं, लेकिन ये प्योरिफिकेशन के लिए जैसे चेस्टाइजमेंट है, तो ये भी एक टाइप का पनिशमेंट है। क्योंकि मैं तो इसको रियलाइज करता हूँ कि ईगो जब बहुत हाई हो जाता है तो ये पनिशमेंट ही लगता है। प्रभु जी जब कुछ कड़वा बोल देते हैं तो लगता है यार ये तो बहुत बड़ा हो गया है, तो ये पनिशमेंट है एक्चुअली हमारा ईगो के लिए। बट ये इतना प्योरीफाइंग है कि जितना ज्यादा।
पनिशमेंट नहीं प्रभु, ये तो प्रमोशन है।
बिल्कुल बिल्कुल, यस प्रभु
मतलब
जी।
मतलब किसी के ऊपर किसी का लॉभ नहीं है तो उसको कभी कोई डांटेगा नहीं, अरे यार करने दो ऐसे ही है। किसी को कोई
ये
डांटता है मतलब ही थिंक्स अबाउट आज, कि वो सोचता है कि भाई ये सुधर जाए ताकि उसी का ही भलाई हो। इसलिए
यस
डांट
प्रभु जी।
मिलना भी इतना आसान नहीं है। इतने महाराज का डिसाइपल है 60,000, मोर देन 50,000, 60,000 मान लेते हैं, उनमें से कितना डिवोटीज को जो ये मौका मिलता है कि महाराज डांटे, जो उनका वेरी डियर होता है, जो कि पूरी तरह से कृपा मिला हुआ है, उन्हीं को इधर डांटते हैं।
या थैंक यू सो मच प्रभु जी, थैंक यू सो मच, आपने इसको याद दिलाया दोबारा, क्योंकि आपका पॉइंट से हम यही रिलेट कर रहे थे कि वो भी जरूरी है, ये प्योरिफिकेशन के लिए जरूरत है। तो जैसे आपने कहा कि ये भाई एक टाइप का ब्लेसिंग है और प्रमोशन है एक टाइप का, मतलब हम लोग सिंफुल टेंडेंसी से जो है नॉन सिंफुल टेंडेंसी में अगर उस चेस्टाइजमेंट के कारण आगे बढ़ते हैं तो ये प्रमोशन है। तो डेफिनेटली प्रभु जी, सो थैंक यू सो मच फॉर गिविंग मोर एनलाइटमेंट इन दैट केस। ओके, तो अभी 3 मिनट है। अभी भक्त लोगों का पास 3 मिनट है, तो बहुत जल्दी में बता सकते हैं, सब लोग कंट्रीब्यूट कर सकते हैं, 3 मिनट बहुत है। We'll conclude with Ganesh Prabhuji's concluding remarks, but before that, yeah, so we have, of course, Pranab Prabhuji, Pradeep Prabhuji, and Mataji also. If you want to share something, maybe voluntarily you can have maybe 1 or 2 minutes. Okay, so maybe I think Ganesh Prabhuji, we can request you then to cover up 3 minutes and give some practical tips. Okay, Prabhuji, please.
I would like to read the purport once again. Like Prabhupada says that no one can create a living being despite all advancement of material science, and therefore no one has right to kill a living being by one's independent whims. So Prabhupada यहाँ पे कंडेम कर रहे हैं कि एनिमल किलिंग के बारे में. Above that line also Prabhupada mentioned that not only that the person who kills, whoever involved in the process, like who transport, uh, who give the orders, everyone get sin and they will get punished by by the law of nature. So we should not be take part in the transition place. So we should be very careful. Yes, Prabhuji, we will conclude today's session. So,
Yeah, Prabhuji, please.
Srila Prabhupada की जय, Srila Gurudev की जय, उपस्थित सभी भक्तवृंद की जय, निताय प्रेम, गौर प्रेमानंद।